Hey, we are live.
We are now live.
Usable live.
Looks like it's a bit loud here. There we go.
Yeah.
So, my name's Jóhann,
My name is Oliver.
and today I think we should really go on that promise that we did talk about before.
So we have been going on and on about this Astro documentation.
Yeah.
So
So I
what
thought-
what is Astro?
Astro is more or less just a website building tool where you can use something called markdown files to essentially, or more or less, the ability to create documentation pages very easily. Some people use them for different things, but generally it's for
It's
documentation.
often used for documentation.
Yeah, because you can just create simple markdown files, which is what we use in Usable as well.
So it's one of those brilliant open source libraries.
Yes, I believe it is. And yeah, it's an open source library that you can use. And it has all the bells and whistles of React and like various different things that you would see in modern
And where do you
technology.
deploy it?
You can actually deploy it to GitHub Actions if you know how to do it.
GitHub Pages.
GitHub Pages, yes. Through GitHub Actions. And
And what are we doing?
we are essentially just taking the usable public workspace that we have been working on now,
Yeah.
and we will be pushing that straight into a documentation page for people to use.
And are we deploying it on GitHub Pages or
Yes.
on our own?
We are deploying it directly on GitHub Pages.
Fantastic. So that's something anyone could do. You just need a GitHub account and a usable account.
Exactly.
And both can be free.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Because it might cost eventually, also on GitHub, depending on how hardcore you are, but for any normal user, it would be free. And I think we should just kind of show off what we've done, because this does have 3 steps, which is the GitHub page,
Yeah.
usables documentation, and N automation workflows.
Oh, so we go back into NIN as well.
Yeah. And again, you don't have to use N for this. You can use whatever you want in terms of automation. So I think we should just jump straight in.
And
So to start out with, I have not done anything really in the workspaces in terms of what we did last time, which was that we created this 101 workspace just demonstrating how to use Usable. And then I subscribed to this Usable public, where we already have some knowledge fragments and recipe fragments.
and these were created from the transcripts.
Yeah. So there are a couple, for example, public versus private workspaces, where it just describes what the difference is and how to work with them.
Yep.
Now, the thing is that, sure, you can just go in here and read all the documentation, but most people expect there to be a separate site where you can read all the documentation for a specific product. And therein comes this beautiful page.
Whoa.
Hang on, I want to see this. That's
the
my
glasses.
favorite part. Yeah, we did give him glasses because, it's documentation. He has to read thoroughly. And all the documentation that we're doing is actually ending in here now. So just to...
And how does that happen?
Exactly, that's the magic. That if I just press one of these buttons, so browse knowledge, you can see all the documentation down this way. So, for example, what is a fragment type? It looks like this.
So this is a public site. So if you go to
This ugly site
Local.io, GitHub.io, usable docs.
Yeah. But again, we will be adding a domain. For example, we call it docs.usable.dev. Yeah. It's pretty.
I can do that right away while you're talking.
Oh, it's exciting. So the whole styling process of this documentation page is also done using Orlando. So Orlando
I thought as much.
Yeah.
So you can use Orlando also for Astro pages?
Yeah, they do support just pure CSS, but mainly what Orlando has been doing in this project is provide a style insight, how to structure, what looks good and what doesn't look good. And from that, he's taken the Usable style guide as well from Usable, which is why he gets these fancy blue to yellow ratio colors. And this entire documentation page is straight out of Usable. So before we dive really into that, I just want to point out that you can press this little GitHub icon inside the documentation page where you can see the usable docs repo, and it's public. So you can just go in and have a look at how we've done this. The only real difference in this project. Yeah.
I've already done it.
It
is actually so fast to add this.
Oh.
And just add a record to the DNS.
Did you update the settings in the Git?
No, that's why I was like raising my finger and saying, go into settings and the pages and just docs.usable.dev.
Usable.dev and save.
I love this. What do you call presentation gods are with us.
Yeah, and he seems to be running, so we'll see if by the end of the video if
it's there.
All right, let's go. Let's try it out.
I promise it was not there before. I just did it.
Docs.usable.dev.
It's not secure. Why is it not secure? Because you have to wait for it to do the certificates.
He's still going through it. Fair enough. But we can test it at the end of the video.
Yeah.
So
that is something that GitHub just does automatically.
Yeah,
it takes up to
and
15 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Especially when we're working with projects that we make public, so we don't show all the build pipelines. Everything is just handled in its own little environment. So this is the Astro doc project. You can go in and look at it. This is just a plain basic Astro project. I did nothing fancy to it besides Orlando coming in with
Looks fancy.
Yeah, that's true. He came in just to add some nice details to this project to make it look nice. But other than that, it's a standard Astro project. And from there, we of course use the GitHub Pages to deploy it. And the only thing I might add that you might have to consider is that during the deployment process, I recommend adding this part, which is concurrency. Just because when you start updating a bunch of fragments, he will start wanting to deploy 6, 7, 8, 9 different page deployments. Because Usable will run like a madman to push things into push fragments into Usable, whereas GitHub is just trying to keep up. So adding this little part called concurrency will make it stop what's currently running and then start over until it stops filling it with updates. And again, there's a million ways to do this, but I just wanted to point it out for this specific project.
I think the certificates are there now.
Oh, sure.
But the formatting looks terrible on my screen, so I'm not sure if...
Let's see.
Yeah. Why does it
skip to content? Oh, that looks terrible.
Why might that be? Is there something missing maybe in the Astro documentation or the Astro configuration that it should know?
It could be. We can always test it afterwards and see. But anyway,
we will make it work.
For now, we have this ugly URL right there.
Yeah.
But then again, what do we do now? We've demonstrated that we have this documentation page and it is generating.
How come we have it? What is the magic behind it?
That is this little guy right here, which is N8N, which is a automation workflow we've demonstrated a couple of times before. And we have this magic webhook right here, which receives events from Usable. So if I were to go into Usable, I'll just pick something else because I don't really want to show the URLs and all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
So if I just pick 101, press settings in the workspace, scroll down, and then I added the webhook under the webhook section. And all that does is that when I create, update, or delete a fragment in the Usable public workspace, it will trigger this to run, where he will filter the fragments that come in just to make sure that they are they have a status published, so you can have draft versions as well.
That's cool.
You can have that it has something to do with usable docs, so you can actually add more things to Usable public that don't go to the documentation page if you wanted to. Just some simple JavaScript validations of looking at the payload that comes from the webhook.
Yep.
Afterwards, we process the entire payload that comes in, so the markdown file itself.
Yep.
where we extract the title, the author, when it was updated, created, all these small like metadata information,
Yeah.
as well as the content on the page itself, where it is just raw markdown text. So it's, if you know markdown, you be able to recognize it rather easily. So there's nothing fancy about this. It's just extracting the information, and in usable, it has been told this is what every single documentation fragment should look like.
Yep.
So it's like kind of one-to-one. And from there, he determines if the operation is a create/update. So either it's a create or an update.
Yeah. So
if
it decides what to do.
Yeah. From there, he checks if the file exists. If it does, then just replace it. And if it doesn't, then create it in GitHub. And if it is a delete, then he just deletes the file.
Yep.
And just from this workflow right here, we are able to take the fragments directly from usable and put them into the Astro docs pages.
Fabulous.
So I think we should just try it as well.
Yeah.
Just to put our money where our mouth is. So a little secret here is that I just opened the cursor, and during this entire process, I documented how I built this.
Yep.
How the flow was built using just a markdown file.
Yeah.
And the reason I made it only a markdown file is because I actually want to send it into usable and then see it pop on through and function. But before that, I just want to double check something here, because I think the site might have been broken. Yeah, hang on. If I just have that, I think this one's actually routing it over there. See, this page is being routed over to the docs page.
Which is...
So I think I'll just quickly disable this for now.
Yeah,
So I'll just remove this.
The domain I was so proud of. It's gone. It's gone.
We'll get it back. We'll just let him just process that, because it might take a short minute.
Yeah, it looks much better. So
let's see. Come on.
I'll do a search to see.
He seems to be struggling to opening the site for some reason. But I mean, in any case, we'll let him run while we are processing this beautiful markdown file that I created. So I will say in this usable docs project, and again, I have access to usable public, so that's why I can do this, but anyone else who's just subscribed can't do this. So I'll say, hey, can you create a a fragment for the we'll call it N8N workflow plan, and if you wonder where that is, it's just a plain MD file giving detailed instructions on how to build this N8N flow with usable. So I'll take that. I'll say, can you create a fragment for the N8N workflow in the usable public workspace? Please use the documentation fragment template found in usable public, just something like that, and then we'll just see what he does with that information. And there's nothing unique here either. We're just creating a fragment and basing it purely off an MD file that's been pre-generated. Again, normally what I would have done is iteratively update the fragment as I went along in the project, but now it's explicitly an MD file because I want to demonstrate how you can push it directly into the documentation page.
Yep.
All right, he seems to be getting a fragment. Found the documentation template.
Hey, I found it.
Did you find the boo-boo?
Yeah, Astro config NJS.
Oh, what's the issue there?
You have to specify the site, define config here.
So we have to write doc stop.
Don't do that now. Sorry.
That's okay. Well,
Continue.
so while he's running, we can hop on over back and just double check the page here. Is it actually working now? Or is it still, he's still pointing at that docs. So maybe we should just fix that in the same jump, I guess. But in the meantime, he seems to...
You can even fix it in usable on GitHub.
Yeah, we could just do that right now while he's running anyway. So in here, we'll say docs.usable.dev.
Yep. And then you go over to the code or search, and you just search for, it was define config. Or you go into just Astro config MJS, it should be right there. It should
be right there.
That's the one.
And here we should just change this to docs.
Yeah, HTTPS.
Yeah, that's true. It's important. Docs.usable.dev. Like that?
Yeah.
That should be it.
Committed.
We'll just say sure, committed straight to the main branch.
Yep. Living life on the edge.
I mean, he's still running, so that's fine. He seems to be making a recipe type fragment, which is exactly what he should be doing, because recipes in the usable public is just filled with like special case projects.
Yeah. So if you go back to GitHub and probably GitHub Actions, is it running? Yes.
He is currently building. This project uses not a general standard GitHub Actions, but it's using one that's been created by Astro as well, because it has to build all the npm packages and stuff. So he is just currently running. Now we're just waiting for everything.
That's the disadvantage with the live sessions. We couldn't just press fast forward.
We can just tell everyone to pause for 20 seconds and then fast forward. There we go. And he is now deploying, so we'll see how long that takes. That shouldn't take too long. In the meantime, what's he doing over here?
Oh, something's happening there.
He says he has created a memory fragment.
Yep.
Now, just to double check, he should actually pop up in here someplace. Let's see. If I go back over to N8N, we can have a look and see he created one the last one he created. Where did he store that one? Did he actually store it in the usable public? No, he did not. Where the heck did he store that one? Let's see. Did you store this fragment in the usable public workspace? And now he's gonna go, oh, sorry, oops. Oh no, I made a mistake. He saved it to the Flowcore workspace.
Oh.
Typical.
That's when you have too many permissions.
Yeah. That's because the reason I did it is also so I can extract information from Flowcore to be able to understand better, like Astro, to make it go a bit faster.
Yeah.
All right, now let me create it. Yes, create in usable public. And this is why we also recommend that when you work with tokens in projects, you make sure that the token has as few permissions as possible, so you don't end up in these scenarios.
Yeah. And we have another. I'll change it.
Oh, did you find something else?
Yeah. The base is no. Sorry. Get the new version here.
All right, he is just running through this. Let me create the fragment. It might take a while because the MD file is quite massive. Okay, this is currently creating. We should really get some like elevator music just to run in the background. All right. He is still creating. He is taking his sweet time, but it is a rather large D file.
So has anything been like triggered over at N8N yet?
No, not yet. And this is purely because he saved it in the Floco workspace. He's supposed to save it in the usable public.
Yeah, it's triggered, and then it checks is it of the right type, and so on.
And he checks it within this N8N flow.
Yeah.
Are you still creating it? Let me just double check here because now it's taking way too long. Yes, let me create it now in the correct usable workspace. I don't think this one took that long. Is it running at the moment? Let's see. Usable. It seems to be struggling to loading the tools. Meanwhile, I'll just double check. What?
Finally.
Is it running now? See, this was all a ploy. Ah, look at that. It's beautiful. Oh, no. I much prefer it in dark mode because it looks so nice with those colors.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll tell Orlando to make it look nice in light mode as well.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I just told him to use the same colors and pushed it out.
But in short, if you go now to docs.usable.dev, you have our new documentation.
Oh, that's so nice. And you even get the little icon as well.
Yep.
The tiny little guy with the glasses.
The favorite icon.
Come on.
Is that me? Oh, it could be you as well.
Oh, that's true. We don't have that many people in here with glasses.
But I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, let me just try and disable usable scoped. Let's try it again. Sometimes I think cursor just turns off my MCP servers. I think you are taking a really long time. Can you just create a simple example, please? He's taking a sweet, sweet time. Simplified version right now. Go.
Usable scoped is there.
Oh, there you go. He created something in the workspace public, usable docs, and he called it N8N workflow usable docs automations. And in the meantime, I'm going to tell him, awesome. Now try again with the full tutorial or full N8N tutorial. Update the fragment you just created. I'll just say something like that so that you can do that in the meantime. Anyway, over here.
So is it in usable public? Can you double check?
He did actually run through the entire flow, and as you can see, he saw it was a create/update.
Okay.
Checked if the file exists. It did not, so he created the file. And if we go over to GitHub, we should actually be seeing a pipeline running at the moment, unless it's done. And there it is.
If you go to the actions or click on that one.
N8N create. And this is the file he created. Oh, that's so much simpler than the one he's supposed to do. That's probably why he was so fast. So if I go to the actions, you should see that he is currently deploying this.
Yep. And it's out there.
So now,
let's check.
Let's see if it shows up. N8N work plan. And there it is. N8N workflow plan, usable docs automation. Okay.
I got it as well. I searched for it.
That's it. Now we never have to write any documentation again.
So remind me. So the magic was, of course, usable.
Yeah. All the knowledge is within usable.
Yeah. And it's triggered with a webhook over to N8N.
Yeah.
A couple of simple steps, and
Yeah.
it's committed to the GitHub repository, which then runs an action, and then it's out there.
Yeah.
And it literally took less than a minute.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And there's no database involved because this is all static information. It's just on GitHub.
Yep.
And every time we make a change now, it will automatically get pushed in here. And if you updated one of the workflow, one of the fragments, he will also go in here and just overwrite the file.
So we had a session about content management systems, but this is
Yeah.
actually content management.
We could use this as a content management system.
Yeah, it's elegant.
Yeah. So that's going to be the we'll see.
We'll see what we do, but
so I feel like every single time we now do a live session, we will iterate over it with the transcript and then have him generate a bunch of documentation that go into usable public and automatically out into the wild.
Might even do a blog post or something as well.
Yeah. Because we can always expand on usable public with more fragment types, more structures, and that's the foundation is there. We can do whatever.
And
we
you
want
go
now.
back to the usable interface there, and you click on, is it a recipe?
It should be a recipe. I believe he made it. There it is. N8N usable.
Yeah. And this is, okay, it is simple, but still.
Yeah. And, oh, hang on. No. I think he finished over in Cursor. Yeah. He updated it, which means that now when we go over here, it might not have finished over here, though, on GitHub. So we'll have a check, and he's currently running.
That's amazing.
So I guess in a way we automatically got to show off the update also works.
So if you go to N8N and see the update.
Go back to N8N, we can see what he did here is that.
Yeah, so the green tick mark is up at the top now and not on the create doc.
And he just he's not trying to figure out how to nicely merge things. He's just overwriting it because the source of truth is usable, not the documentation
where you
page.
have the full history as well because of the event sourcing platform.
Yeah.
Flowcore.
And if you wanted to, you could easily do this with just Flowcore, a Flowcore transformer as well. Probably much faster than doing it this way.
Yeah, but usable is a bit more usable.
Yeah. But I was thinking more n.n. Instead of using that, you could use Flowcore, but that's...
instead of N8N,
Yeah.
That's for another video.
So he seems to have finished. So we can just quickly hop on over here. And there you go.
Oh.
Quick start, node by node implementation. He mentions how to set up the webhook trigger, validate filter, prepare. Oh, that is just magic. Edit file, delete file, success response. All of it, just right there. And you can go in and set your own up right now.
Time is flying. It's 1:30.
Oh,
so, but I would suggest that people go to docs.usable.dev and see the magic.
Yeah.
And try to set up their own workflow. And do you have anything to add?
No, I think we basically showed everything and more. So
fantastic. So it's time for you to go and make something usable.